What's up? What's up, y'all? It's Unique Love. Good morning. Hope everybody has had a great week. Yo, can you believe that it's September already? We are in the fourth quarter. All my entrepreneurs and business-minded folks know what that means. So, this year, has flown by. Seriously. Summer said hi and bye so quickly. Luckily the weather is still holding up fairly well. However, it is getting a little dark a little earlier than I expected. But, it's been good. Football's back. I'm excited about that. I've been working my local high school's football games, doing security on Friday nights. So it's just a blessing to be a part of the activities that are going on and festive and working. So I know I had to come back and get on here. Excuse me, my allergies are kicking my butt. The leaves are falling, the season is changing, and that's when I get hit the most. So shout out to all my allergy sufferers out there. You feel me? Put your hands up, asthma pumps in your hands, and the Claritin and the other, some hot tea, you'll be all right. So, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. Besides the fact that I've been super duper busy, no end. And that's why I'm a little sad, because now that my time is freeing up a little bit, summer's over. Next week, the 21st, is fall season. Now, the only reason why I am excited is because I love sweatsuits. Bump hoodies. I love sweatsuits. So now I'm okay, give or take. I give a little bit. I'll take it a little bit. Because now, I work all summer long. Some days, some weeks, straight through, no break, no nothing, no hangout, no catch up, no go out, and nothing like that. Straight. So, I said, now that my time is freeing up, it's all right, I want to do this, I want to do that. I didn't travel that much. I didn't go too many places, and it's I'm trying to make up for that. But it's all good because yes, the holidays are coming up, but more importantly, it's almost Scorpio season. I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that, actually. My birthday is in November, and it's okay, I usually start my planning right now of what I want to do so that the closer it gets, everything goes smoothly. So, super excited. There's so much going on. When I say just whether it's my life, my personal life, social media life in general, and it's just wow, the kiddos went back to school already. I just felt like there was just it was this long ending water slide. You start at the tippy top, and it's okay, this is fun, but it's still going on, life, children, it's you just stop by fun. Fun is a 30-minute lunch break, and it's just okay, what do you do now? How do you bounce back from that? Because it's about to be winter now, and I'm the type of person, once I get in the house for the day, I'm not going back out. Because where I'm from, we have 4 seasons, okay? And this cold is no joke. So, if you're not used to the cold, this is not the place for you, okay? This cold hits different. Yes, I've been here a long time, majority of my life, and I should be used to it, but I'm not, and all I do is complain the whole winter about being cold. The snow is in the way. So it's just okay, why are you still here then? $1 million question. Because there's opportunities for me to have my own success here. It's the only thing. But anyways, I want to send my condolences to the family of PNB Rock. I literally did not know that he was from Philly. So, I live on the other side of the state. And, Philly is the east side of the state. So I'm pretty much from the west side of the state of Pennsylvania. And I'm just like, okay, like, when does that stop? And what made it even more sad is I saw a glimpse of the video of the after, when he was like, and I don't mean to be explicit, but the parts of him have already been shot and stuff like that. And I'm just like, wow. I was literally like flabbergasted. When does it end? When does it stop? And it's really sad when you see someone, which honestly, I haven't really ever heard anything bad about PNB Rock. I mean, I feel like he was like really upcoming, but according to sources and other radio stations, especially Philly's radio station, Power 91, they had so many great things to say about PNB Rock that I'm like, this is sad. You already have a hard life, and then you figure it out and you come into your success, and you're sitting down eating, minding your business, and someone just comes in and robs you and kills you. That is terrible. Like, seriously. It's terrible, and it's sad that we have evil people in the world that don't care and that act like that. It's sad that this man has worked to get to where he is, and he couldn't even enjoy that. Now, the detective side of me still feels though there's a little piece of setup that the girlfriend may have played in this. She personally is my number one suspect. Now, my 40, what is that? 48? First 48 tendency, gut is telling me, people keep saying, oh, why would she set him up? They have kids together. Da-da-da-da. So, what does that really have to do with anything when you're living a double, triple life? When you're living a life that you could just be envy and jealous as well. Because he's famous and not you. You can have homeboys that, you know what I mean? Because what does it look like that all this happens? And it happens so fast. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't there. And that's what makes it so bad, what the speculation is about. But the facts that came out, social media and the news outlets that responded to this call and things like that, the facts were he's in LA. The girlfriend posted pictures of their location, and then this happens. So you can't sit here and say this was a random attack. Stars live in LA. Celebrities visit LA all the time. So why isn't any other celebrity attacked when they go to LA? That would mean there's some foul play into this. Same thing about the other celebrities that have lost their lives in LA. LA I don't know how it don't got its own name. Chirac and all that stuff. I mean, we know Compton is pretty gangster. California has gangster places. So at no point in time can we sit here and say LA is this great place without talking about the negatives and the tragedies that have occurred there. Yes, you have evil people that don't care about nothing. If they get paid to be a hitman, that's what they do. They live their life to be a hitman, and that's what they want to do. Not saying that that's okay, but we know, let's act like we know the truth, and we know that it happens every day. So, can't sit here and say that, he was just minding his business. I mean, I don't know what he was caught up in. If he was caught up in anything. But again, you have evil, jealous people that always target and go after people that, are doing something for themselves, doing well for themselves. But honestly, you get no cool points for doing that. You don't get no cool points for taking someone away from their family, taking someone life, period. Unless it is complete, utter self-defense, you get no cool points for taking someone's life. I'm sorry. Yes, call me old school. Call me whatever you want. But I call it how I see it, and not with some BS. But again, it does not take my eye off of the girlfriend. Because I read this. I studied criminology for a little bit in college. And it says let me rephrase that. 89% of victims know their perpetrator. That's more than half of victims. That is saying that in 89% of occurrences, the people knew each other. So what does that tell you? Someone in your camp, someone you know, someone close to you, someone around you is hating and plotting on you. So be very, very careful and mindful of the company that you keep, because 9 times out of 10, that's a high percentage. Somebody that you know is hating on you and is setting you up for your demise. That is sad. That is really sad. What happened to the code? What happened to just wanting to be friends and happy for one another? But you know what? Some of that is that, because everybody can't go. When you start outgrowing people and leveling up, everybody can't go. If you're not on that road and level and ready to go to that next level, and your friend or your boy, your girl is, and you get left behind oftentimes or sometimes. And then now you become this bitter person, and now you want to see them fail because you ain't doing nothing. You don't want to move on. You don't want to do better. You don't want to grow. You just want to stay and be who you are. Something's wrong with people like that. That should be something. That should be called something besides bitterness. I mean, because that creates such an evil and disgusting person that, but that's all self-inflicted. That's all self-sabotage. Listen, we all got the same 24 hours in a day, and you got to do what you got to do for you. You got to do it. You got to do it. That's it. Nobody owes you nothing. There's no nothing. It's just you got to get to it. That's it. Point blank, period. And it's the next thing that really stands out to me is the music. I don't know if anyone else has said this, but I will say it. Truthfully, wholeheartedly, the other influence besides a hating ass person is the music. Have y'all really, and I know you've had to, because that's all there is now. It's like if the music industry today has changed in such a negative light, and people are like, man, I don't know what happened to my son. I don't know what happened to my daughter. Because I don't act like this. I don't do that. You're exactly right. Social media and the music has had the most powerful influence, especially on our kids. It may not bother us as adults because we have that, I guess we can call that niche where like this, the phones and stuff, it don't bother us. We grew up without phones, so having the need a phone does not bother us. We can put the phone down. We can control that itch and urge to be on social media. That doesn't bother us. But the generations after us that have come and they feel like they are now a phone, social media crackhead. They can't put the phone down. They can't stop touching it. They can't stop using it. They can't stop scrolling. They can't stop posting. They can't stop Snapchatting. Can't stop TikTok. Can't get off Instagram. Those ones have been tremendously affected by what is on social media and the music that is on there. And why do I say that? Because the music, if it ain't about selling drugs, killing people, sleeping with somebody, like, what happened to just good music that made you feel good? What happened about music just being pure entertainment and showing off talent? What happened to music meaning something? Because then you do just have music that sounds good and they're one-hit wonders and it sounded good for the time being, and they got their money, they got in and they got out. But today you have music that is like, it almost makes you feel like you're not real if you don't have a gun. You're not real if somebody try you and you don't shoot them. You're not cool if somebody try you and your mans don't do nothing. You're not cool if you're not hustling drugs to get money. Since when was that okay? Since when was it okay to teach our kids the wrong thing to do? Since when was that okay? Because when I was growing up, we was doing everything to not be like those ones that were standing on the block. We were doing everything to not be a gangster. We were doing everything not to be part of a gang. We were doing everything not to be chased down and profiled by cops. So, not saying, don't take that out of context of profiled by cops, because yes, that still exists to this day, and it can happen at any point in time. But I'm at peace that if I'm not doing anything to be in harm's way, that nothing's going to happen in essence. And I apologize if that sounds critical or crucial, but at the same time, that's just a whole nother topic. So we're not going to get into that on this segment. But what I am saying is, in the 80s, in the 90s, growing up, like, it was cool to go to school. It was cool to not do drugs. It was cool to just hang out with your friends and go play basketball, go play football, hang out. It's sad where we are right now, and it's social media and the rap game's fault. If you want to point fingers, let's point fingers at that. Because it's like, it's allowed. Like, I love music. I love entertainment. And yes, I have been able to decipher what is just that. Some stuff is entertainment just to enjoy for the moment, the night. But it doesn't define my life and who I am. And that's where I feel as though things are getting crossed. Because, I get up every day and I gotta grind for the money that I make and get and things I do. Nothing is handed to me. And yes, I know I get on and I post and I talk about what I talk about, social media wise, but I'm not here trying to turn anybody or make anybody be a bad person. All my intentions are good, and I hope that, the airwaves hear these things, and this is part of the good that's being put back into the world, because we are surrounded by so much evil and bad that who is going to step up and be the light? Who is going to step up and be good? And I don't have to be a God basher to do that. I can just be a good person. I can just be happy. I can just be smiling. I can just be giving advice. I can just be giving good, doing good, so that people can know that there's still good people out there in the world. And that's simply what it's about. That's the simplest terms that I can put it in. And it's so sad about what we're up against, that people are getting so caught up in social media and being a rapper. How many more black people do we have to lose? How many more celebrities do we have to lose to gun violence or drugs? How many more family members do we have to see get locked up? How many sons do we have to lose before we do something, before something happens? Who has to be affected to say, okay, we're not going to play this music on the radio no more? Who's going to say that? Who's going to say, I'm not supporting that? I can count on both hands the families in my own community that has been affected by such tragedy. Young men that haven't even made it, some haven't even made it to 18, some haven't made it to 21, some haven't made it to 25, some haven't made it to 30. So when are we going to stop the violence, one against each other, so then we can stop the violence against everyone? Because again, 90% of victims know their perpetrators. So when are we going to stop hurting one another and start loving one another? When are we going to stop hurting one another and just be cordial? You don't like me, I don't like you. But that don't mean there's a beef. What are we beefing for? You go your way, I go mine. And I was brought up on very basic principles. If you don't like me, if you ain't got nothing nice, my mom used to tell me all the time, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. That's true. Because that's how stuff gets started and carries on. But I live by that. Treat people how you want to be treated. I try to treat everybody that I meet and encounter with the way I want to be treated. Because it's very simple. I don't care who you are, black, white, purple, yellow, old, young. It doesn't matter. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. And that's important, and it takes you a long way. Please take you a long way. I haven't heard too many even kids say yes ma'am, no sir. Yeah, I haven't heard kids, I'm talking about after my generation, I have not heard a lot of kids even speak like that. Where's the standards? Where's the morals? You know what I mean? Like, even from just everything that is out there, like, you still gotta set an example. You still gotta set boundaries, because if not, you will be sucked into it. And if it's not you, your kids will get so consumed in being caught up with the Joneses, and they gotta have this and they gotta have that, and they're not cool if they don't have an iPhone. They're not cool if they don't got on the latest trends. They're not cool if they don't not doing this, they're not doing that. But to whose standard? Whose? Now it seems like the majority is the social media trend or TikTok trend. Now they're setting the standards, and now you're just supposed to abide by that. No, boo. It's not how this works. Parents need to put their foot down. The communities need to come together so that the world can be a better place. Somebody needs to stand up and just start saying, call it how it see it. And I'm doing that right now. I'm calling some stuff out. Even when sometimes, like, when I listen to the radio, I'm like, this is trash. This is garbage. I mean, yeah, back in my day, I listened to, you heard some rappers talk about selling, cooking it up and dealing it, but that was the hustle, the grind. But now it's like you hear the other side of it. Like, if they were the crack babies that took the medicine, that took the stuff that was cooked up, I don't know. But it's like, it's just all about that. Like, how many kids are in late middle school, early high school, smoked out, ecstasied out? Like, what? I didn't hear about weed till I was like 18 years old. Like, these kids are exposed to so much more, way faster and sooner than I think is okay. Yeah, they try to say these little disclaimers. Oh, you got to be 13 years old to enter. They don't care about that. They do not care about that. And that's not stopping nothing. That's hurting. That's hurting our young kids. Because all they do is make fake birthdays, and then they go onto these sites. And these sites are feeding our children garbage. They really are. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love music. Like, I'm an artist myself, but, I don't promote violence. I do not promote gun violence. I don't promote none of that. I can't get with it. And that's probably why my music career has not gone very far. And because I'm more of a feel-good, inspiring music head type person, that there's very little of that. And that's why a lot of our, old school rappers and singers, their career started to fade out because they didn't, change. For instance, Mary J. Blige, and I will say this time and time again, I love her. I hope I can meet her one day. But just naming a few, Monica, these women have never wavered. They've never changed. They've always been themselves. They ain't never start doing stuff that they need to or have to. They've always stayed true to themselves, and I can appreciate that, in their music and how they carry themselves as women. And that's what I'm talking about, the difference in people. And yes, even what they talk about, but even from the beginning until now, you know what I mean? They've stayed true to themselves first. Not the game or the talent, to themselves. And that means a lot to a aspiring music artist like me. And then it's just like, I'm sorry, I seen something the other day that stood out to me. And it just makes sense when you look at other events that have occurred in the music. I seen this tweet, and it was like, do you think that King Von would have been bigger than Lil Durk? And I sat there and I thought about that for a second, and my answer was yes. Von was way more lovable and likable than Durk. Nobody really liked Durk until after Von passed away. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Durk didn't start getting no name for himself until after that happened. Because Vaughn is the one that really brought him back out. Are we going to sit here and act like Durk was not no singing as MFer when he first come out? Him and Dej Loaf. Oh my gosh, what's the song? Wasn't he just a singing ass wannabe singer when he first came out? A lot of his tracks, he was trying to sing, okay? He had the fade and the waves. Ooh, well, my gosh, what is the song? Oh my gosh, what is the song? He got a couple of songs like that. And he was not talking all that gangster crack then. Then I guess you get arrested, you go to jail, now you come out, now you some tough guy. Really? Are you really? Really? You was that tough in jail? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't believe it. I don't care. Then now, then you get with Vaughn, who, in my eyes, probably really was about that life. Because of what he had to go through and do. Y'all gotta realize it in real life. Durk been around for a little bit. But who was Durk? Who was Durk? Yeah, we know about him now, but Durk had been in the game already for a long time. A long time. Now, Vaughn, on the other side, You really was probably on the street. You probably really was. You know what I mean? He probably has a more rags to riches type of story, and was really out there and was really gang banging. His stuff is probably really true, probably really real. But the way he came about and the way he really rapped and told his stories, you know what I mean? That was hitting. That was hitting. He was almost like a Meek Mill, like the Meek Mill of Chicago, almost. And the way he brought his energy and the way he rapped on his songs and the stories he told. So it's like, Dirk, who's you? Because Dirk got not nan amount of clout as Vaughn was getting, and he started getting more once he passed away. So that don't say something that I don't know what does when you talk about the real life part of people's lives and what they really get into compared to what they portray and want to be in the music game. And you got to understand, the music game will change you if you're that greedy, if you're that envious. So it's like, man, you gotta trust and see and, you know, watch the company you keep. You really do. You really, really do. And you got to be mindful. You got to be smarter than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, these young girls, it's sad. Like, because I work in the school system and I see it. These little young girls want to wear these crop tops and these little booty shorts. And then they want to get smart and cuss out their parents and think that shit's cute. And it's not. It is not. And they don't understand why their parents. And I don't think that the parents. It's 50-50. Because honestly, when I go to the store, it's like, what the hell is this? Where's the clothes at? It's like pieces of material. Where's the rest of it at? Even in the juniors department, even in the young lady, the 14, 16, like, where's the rest of the clothes at? So I can attest that, okay, you know, and then you might tell your girls, yeah, I'll get you this, but you got to wear a shirt under it, or you got to wear leggings under it. You know what I mean? Okay, but then it's like they try to sneaky stuff they get from around you, and then, you know, they take the leggings off, they take the thing off, the tank top off. Now they got a crop top on. Now they butt cheeks is hanging out. And well, this is the style. This is what so-and-so's wearing. This is what so-and-so got. I don't care about, first of all, my first, I don't care what so-and-so's doing. They're not my child. You are. And they don't understand that the protection that we're trying to give them, because there are perps in the world. There are creeps. There are disgusting perverts in the world, but trying to tell a young girl right now that story and that situation and trying to prevent that from happening is like talking to the wall compared to what's on social media and TikTok and the latest and what's going on. It only gets real when it happens to them, unfortunately, or it happens to one of their friends around them. But it's so hard, the stuff that we are up against. These young males, you know, our young men, it's like, you know, granted, every child is not a rapper athlete, you know, and it's like you only get a couple of options. Like, you really got to spend time with your children to really get to know them and see what they like and don't like, so that way you can, you know, find stuff that interests them outside of the phone, outside of school, you know what I mean? Because you got to keep them busy. You have to keep them busy so that they can stay motivated and focused, or we really gonna have a generation that is lost, really strung out and lost. And even though I'm not a super huge religious person, we gotta get these kids back to church, man. There's also, I know that might sound random, but truthfully, growing up in church, that helped me be a better person. Despite what my beliefs are, it helped me be a better person because I learned how to be my own person. I learned how to treat people. I learned how to respect my elders. I still learn life lessons. Despite of what the word and whatever they were doing and what I believe, it still taught me, and it helped me shape who I wanted to be and how I wanted to carry myself. And that is important. And that takes you a long way too. You know, And I feel like kids, you need that, because yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, whether it's using your manners or respecting the elder, how you dress, how you carry yourself, it helps you set some standards and morals for yourself. And I know for a fact there's a generation of kids that will never step foot in a church at all to even learn, see, think, feel, experience that. And that is not good, because somewhere, everyone learns different. Everybody is different strokes for different folks. But at some point in time, you do got to find what works and what doesn't. Even if you were forced to go to church as a child and you couldn't stand it now, or you couldn't stand it then and you can't stand it now, but you still took something from it that helped you be better. So that is something that we're lacking too. Like, we just need to get back to the standards and the morals that once were. Somebody just needs to stand up and tell it how it is. You know what I mean? I'm all down for a good time. I'm all down for a good music. I'm all down for the good of stuff. But not if it's going to have me ducking and I got to look over my shoulder. I got to turn all my lights out. I got to have flashlights. I got to carry a gun to feel safe. What? Since when? Since when? I always talk about the good old days, and back in the day, yes, and I can say that because I've lived long enough to say that and been through and seen so much things happen in my life, and I'm just like, man, how do we get back? How do we get it back? And yes, I am just one person, but I'll do what I can, but, we got to go back and be mindful and really, really, collectively want to see change. Just like we gang together and protest about certain stuff, we got to start protesting about other stuff too. And music and entertainment got to be one of them, because if not, we in for a rude awakening. And I just see it before it happens, because I'm dealing with it in my personal life. I got a 12-year-old daughter, and I'd be ready to box her face in all the time. Between her attitude and what she want to wear today, we just won't go. We just won't go. How about that? You're not going outside with me looking like that. No, I don't care. And I don't care. I really don't. And that's how we have to be. And if you can't help the next person, help yourself, help your children, help your grandchildren, then it goes to the neighbor, then it goes to your block, then it goes to the neighborhood. But we got to start somewhere, man. It is really rough, and I'm tired, and I sit here and I go back and forth in my head, like, what am I doing? I'm not doing nothing. But then what's all the outside and external factors going into consideration? And, don't let social media make you feel like you're less than a parent because you can't, you know what I mean, or you penny pinching, or you got to do. Times is hard out here. It's rough out here. And you have so many decisions to make, whether your kids are old enough to go to daycare or not. Like, okay, do I work this third job because I got to buy my son these Jordans? I got to buy my daughter this iPhone. No, that is not how it should be. It's different for working hard because you want to have nice things. But it sucks to have to overwork because you're trying to keep up with it. If that makes sense. No, it shouldn't have to be like that. You shouldn't, especially if your kids ain't nothing. And I don't mean to say it like that, but it is what it is. If your kid do nothing but smoke weed, don't help around the house, go outside, do whatever they want, but you're bending over backwards to put a roof over their head and they're not doing nothing, I'm sorry. No. That's not how I operate. That's not how this household is operating. You got to be doing something. Everybody in the household got to be doing something and contributing. If I'm going to be the only one out here working and getting it. But shout out to the single mothers and fathers that do get up and grind to make sure their child have keyword wants for nothing. But that's another thing that, that's a whole nother topic that I don't have enough time to get into. But we got to change our mindsets too, because parents, we be working too hard and we get very little, nothing out of our children. that makes it seem worth it, that makes us feel appreciated. Because, of course, we all want to give our children what we didn't have. We all want to give our children nice things. But what do we get in return? Because just like when our child couldn't work and we got to be the ones to go to work and provide everything, they got to pay us back in respect. They got to pay us back in clean rooms. They got to pay us back in chores. But for them to just be laying around all day and all this, and you got to cook, clean, go to work, come back, clean up again, and they're just out here thinking they living their best lives. Oh, no. So I hope that this has been so much, and there's so much more. Like I said, it's coming. I'm working on so much at the same time too. Like I said, it's about to be Scorpio season. You know, I'm in stack mode, I'm in save mode, I'm in hibernation, let's go to the gym workout mode. So y'all just stay tuned, man. I thank y'all for rocking out with me, listening to me. I hope that, you know, one day I can really help someone and be effective and start the change and be the change that, you know, I want to see in the world. So, hey, man, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. I'm more so on Facebook. My Facebook and Instagram is connected, but I don't know why. I'm just haven't been feeling Instagram. So I'm trying to get everything back running seamlessly together. But this will be on YouTube. You can type in Unique Love, YOUNIQLOVE, Unique Love on YouTube. You can also type that in on Facebook, and then also this goes on my music page, the Unique Artist. So THEYOUNIQ Artist, ARTIST. You can also Google this, search this. This is on Apple Music, I believe, Google, and a few other stations, but you can just Google it and it'll all pop up. So thank you so much for rocking out. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for the next one. I got so much to talk about, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to get it right. So, love to be you. I love to be me. I am unique. Until next time, be safe.